So welcome, welcome. Let me just check. Perfect. Okay, so I haven't had any technical issues yet. So that's awesome. I feel like I'm a step ahead of myself already. It's like, yay. All right, so thank you everybody for joining me. So today we're going to be doing the coconut and beetroot balls, which are amazing. I made a batch during the week. I'm not sure if you saw, and actually made it into a slice. And it is so nice. Actually, I think I ate about 3/4 of it myself, all under the proviso that it's a healthy snack. And somehow I think I completely undid all the goodness that actually goes with it. But it is really beautiful. So we do that first. Then we're going to make the wontons. We're going to start the wontons. We'll actually make the dough for the wontons. Now, if anyone is cooking along with me today, I think I've got a few people cooking along with me today. I am actually going to show you, I'll go grab them in a sec. So we're going to show you how to make the dough, but and that's actually makes the round wontons, but they also got some square wontons at the supermarket, because I'll just show you how to wrap. There's a few different ways that you can actually wrap your wontons. So I'll show you how to do those and pop those into the thermo server, and we will start our San Choy Bau. We'll actually make the dough. We'll start the San Choy Bau, and whilst that's cooking, it's awesome for your high heat cooking. So I'm not sure, I think we've got a mixture of owners on today, but those with the TM6, it'll do the high heat cooking for you. Those with the TM5, it will saute your meat of whatever you've chosen as well. So very, very similar. Just the caramelization that you get with the high heat cooking is awesome. You are actually, if you're watching this back and you have a TM5 and you wish to, you are really welcome to just fry the meat in a fry pan if you prefer that extra depth of flavor. Otherwise, your TM6 will do it for you. And then that will finish us off. Okay, so hopefully, let me just turn my camera down a little bit so you can see my bench a bit more. There we go. There we go. So you can see everybody. Perfect. All right. So let's get started. Alrighty. Now I have those cooking along. And if you haven't already, chop up your pork. So if you have got pork mince or chicken mince or beef mince, whatever you've chosen, you can just leave it like that. If you've actually got pork loin chops, just cut those into 2 centimetre pieces and quickly pop them into the freezer, because what you want them to be is actually half frozen, so that when they are minced in the Thermomix, which I'll show you how to do, it'll just makes it a bit easier to actually mince your meat and tip it out. Okay, so if you can do that whilst I chat, and we can do that. All right, cool. So what I've done, I've downloaded on Cookie Do. I've downloaded it onto our machine, and we're going to start off with the coconut and beetroot balls. They are absolutely divine. But I'll grab my little tray here. Now you can absolutely make these gluten-free if you wish. So it does use a little bit of flour, but there's absolutely nothing stopping you from using gluten-free flour. That's just it's just a thickener really, so you can do that. Okay, so I'm going to pop in my beetroot, beautiful fresh beetroot. All I've done is just peeled it. And those who actually have super fresh, like if you grow your own beetroot, you actually don't, you just give it a beetroot a wash. You don't even need to really peel it, top and tail it and give it a wash. But I'm going to cut this into, it says 2 centimetres, so I'll cut it into 2 centimetres. I'll cut it a little bit smaller. Just peel it and chop it up. Don't be too worried about your chopping. Perfect. Tear that off. Now I think my beetroot might be a little bit under. Yeah, very close. So I've got 203 there. Okay, cool. Now we'll put my dates in. There we go. So these are my dates. So if you've got, like when I made the slice during the week, if you've got larger beetroot or you want to do a bigger batch, absolutely can. Just increase your other ingredients as well. So this asks for 12. So during the week I made with 2 beetroot, and so just actually doubled everything.
Beetroot and coconut.
Oh, got a question? No. Oh, okay. Have got a question? No.
Oh.
You are so welcome to unmute yourself at any time. Let me know. Okay, some coconut. Okay, beautiful coconut. 130 grams of coconut. And as you pour it in, it'll actually measure it, weighing it for you down here. You'll see it weighing down there. So to putting in 130, again, if you've got your, put in extra, just adjust accordingly. And that's the same with all the recipes. Okay. Someone asked me the other day about my containers as well. If anyone's interested, my containers are, I actually got them from Aldi, believe it or not. You can buy everything from Aldi. But I got them from Aldi, but they're Crofton containers. If anyone's interested, they you can buy them online as well, which is awesome. But they're great. They stop all. I haven't had any infestations, thankfully, as a result, which has been awesome, especially in Queensland. It's a bit hotter. Okay, now cacao powder. If you don't have cacao powder, just use cocoa powder. It's not everything. I actually just had cacao nibs, and so I've milled my cacao nibs, and I'm just putting in. It's quite a strong flavour compared to cocoa powder. Okay, it's quite a strong. So it depends up to you. I'm actually just going to put in 1 tablespoon because I know my son's probably not going to eat them because they're healthy anyway. But I'm just going to put in 1 tablespoon. Try as I might to make him eat healthy things, bless him. Okay, oh, and vanilla bean paste, perfect. And you can also make your own vanilla bean paste as well. I haven't, I should, and I just haven't at the moment, but you can, absolutely. So many things that you can make with your Thermomix. It's amazing. All right, so pop that there. Say next, all right, so now it just does everything for you. So I show it to you, you see that? It's just everything mixed in there. Pop the lid on. Okay, it's going to go for 15 seconds now, but you just listen to it. When you're cooking in your Thermomix, listen to it and you'll hear it change. Yeah, I hope you'll understand. Hang on 2 seconds. If I give this a whirl, listen to the change.
You can't hear it because it cuts the noise out when it's working.
What's that, sorry?
It cuts the noise out so you can't hear it.
That's awesome, and I'm going to learn not to talk during it going as well. Thanks, Debbie. I know. Someone asked me the other day, they went, well, I wish the noise kept coming out, which is really good because it makes a lot of noise, but then I have to stop talking, which is very hard for me. But look at that. You see that? What's the method? I wonder if I turn the light on, actually, you can see it. There we go. You see that? Yeah, I'll put back a bit. There we go. Look at that. Yes, thanks, Cheryl. Yes, you can use cocoa powder. So I used cocoa powder during the week because I didn't have any of my cacao nibs milled up. I just used cocoa powder, and it's definitely not as strong a flavour as well. So yeah, you can do that. All right, now what I'm going to do now, for those cooking at home, you have an option, okay? So if you want, I'm sure you may have seen this trick before, grab a slice pan, crunch up your baking paper, and that stops it from springing out, okay? And if you want, you can now put that into the slice, or you can roll balls, okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to do both. So I'll grab a little bowl, and you can see, oh, the colour's amazing. So I'm actually going to do both, and I'm going to roll some as well. All right, I'll leave that for the bowl. Isn't it a beautiful colour? Can you see that? Look at that. That's amazing. All right, now Cheryl loves the tip. Yeah. Oh, thanks. Cheryl loves the tip about squeezing the baking paper. It is such. How many hours I have fought with baking paper. Oh my goodness, it's such a saviour. I actually don't know how I discovered it. Maybe I got frustrated with my baking paper one day. I went, right, enough. And it stayed. Okay, perfect. And actually what I'm going to do as well Now you can put anything you wish on top of it, but I'm actually going to sprinkle a little bit of coconut over the top of it as well. Okay. Now that, so I'm on a health kick at the moment. Like I'm going through these stages. My husband just rolls his eyes at me, but I'm on a health kick at the moment. So going to have, this is if you are after like a sweet afternoon treat like that, or something to have with your morning coffee, this is so awesome. So all that's done, and then you just pop that into the fridge for at least half an hour and that'll reset. And what I'm going to do is pop that in the fridge. I'm going to grab a bowl, put the rest into the bowl, and then I'll roll them out. I'll show you them rolled out as well. So, but I'll move on to doing our wontons, get those going, and I'll roll it intermittently throughout. Just love the colour, and it is it's really sweet. It's really lovely. You could make, like if you weren't on such a big health kick, like you could put maple syrup into it, you could put rice malt syrup or honey. You don't need to use the cacao nibs. You can actually just use cocoa just to make them a little bit more appealing to children as well, a little bit more sweet, but that's it. So that's okay. We're going to roll that out. Right. Pop that there. And I'll swap my plate. Got a quick rinse. There we go. Okay, awesome. I'll put this over on the side. Oh, I'll show you a little, just for those who haven't seen it, I'll show you what I've done. Just to make it a bit easier, I've just put a little bit of water. There's no dishwashing in there. A little bit of water. You can put the dishwashing in it. And I'll just say next. That's fine. Roll ball. That's fine. And so we've finished with that recipe. When you're finished, you get... Just give it a quick blast. Give it a quick... Notice I didn't talk during that. I'm trying. Okay. So give it a quick blast. And my water's now pink. Okay. But what it does, it really gives your bowl a quick clean. How cool is that? So really, it's just a really quick way in between your recipes. Now with the TM6, and if you have cookie dough and you've done the update on the TM5, there is the pre-clean function, which is awesome. But I only actually use that right at the end of a cook because it does take about 5 minutes and I'm impatient. So I use that right at the end. Or if I have been doing high heat cooking, like for example, if I've made honeycomb or I've done chicken teriyaki, something that's sticky and hot, and you need to clean the bowl straight away, like you've got really sticky, or you made a krockenbush, for example, something that has that toffee, that's when I use the pre-clean mode. So the pre-clean is amazing. It actually senses how dirty your bowl is and will adjust its time and washing accordingly. So yeah, it's pretty amazing. But for those who are short on time, just blast it with 10, like 5, speed 10 for about 5 seconds. Okay. We've got a quick rinse as well. Rightio. So let's go. Let's make our wontons. So it's very exciting. Now, this recipe does say it's an advanced recipe. Don't be scared to try recipes that are advanced or medium or anything like that. If you see the thing and you go, oh, I couldn't possibly do that. No. It will step you through. I think when it says it's advanced, it's just a few more steps in there that you need to be aware of. But the machine will guide you through it. And so don't be frightened to give an advanced recipe a go. Okay. Do I have a question? Laura, have you got a question at all? No? I can hear some beautiful noises. I think I can hear a little bubble. Okay. All right. So we're going to, so this particular recipe that I'm going to do is called steamed cabbage and pork dumplings. They're actually more, in my mind, they're a wonton versus the traditional dumpling where it's really doughy. I call these wontons. There is actually a really easy, if you prefer an easy recipe that uses the wrapper, I'm pretty sure they call this advanced because you make your own wrappers. I think that's the only reason. If you want to have a recipe that just uses the wrappers, there's also a beautiful wonton. So look up wonton soup and that'll actually make the broth as well as the wontons, and that's delicious. It's such a lovely family recipe to do as well. Get all the kids involved in wrapping and rolling. It's awesome. Okie dokie. So, I'm going to grab my Varoma. So this, I'm very excited. This, can you see that? Look at that. This is the new lid. This is the new Varoma lid. So people who buy the TM6 from, I think 2 weeks ago, got this included in their delivery. That's just arriving, but it's doesn't warp like the clear one. So the clear one may do. So some people who've maybe found that their lids have warped. By the way, if it is still in warranty, if your machine's still in warranty and your clear lid has warped slightly, please feel free to contact head office. Contact them and they will replace it for you because the lids shouldn't warp. But what they've done is released this new opaque one and it is fantastic. So, okay, so I'm just going to give this a light spray. What we're going to do is just going to load up our Varoma with our wontons. So I'm just going to set that aside. Rightio. Okay. Grab some water. So 150 grams of water. I'm just going to tear that off. Pour that in. Had to go. Oh, look at that. 151. I'm improving. I used to be like I've been, you know, 10 grams here or there, 20 grams here or there. But no, I'm definitely improving. Oh, sorry, let's wash my spatula. Great. All right. Now I'm using baker's flour. It's just literally a plain flour. I use it for all my dough. It's not essential in this recipe. However, it's pretty much the only plain flour that I have in the house at the moment. Again, if you're gluten intolerant, you can use a gluten-free plain flour. Okay. Oh, I wish you could zoom in and see. It's 300, exactly. I'm on fire. It's all going to go so pear-shaped, I can tell. Okay, tablespoon of oil. Now, when it says tablespoon, I just give it a best guess. A bit more. There we go. There we go, teaspoon of salt. Right, pop the lid on. So that's going to knead. Done. Okay. This is the kneading function. Okay. So when you want to activate your functions, oh look, oh Pauline, where's my cup of tea? When you want to activate your kneading functions, all you do is just tap on the little thing and then just give it a little twirl and it turns it on. Okay. Off it goes. So it goes one way and then it goes back the other way. It goes one way, it goes back the other way. Okay, so whilst it does that, I'm going to show you how to grab my tray with some baking pieces on. You can pop these onto a plate if you wish. There we go. I'm just going to, actually I'll grab a little bowl. Normally I just sprinkle it onto there, but I'll put it onto a bowl. Excellent. So when your machine's kneading, now is the time not to walk away from your machine, okay? So just, yeah, now's the time not to move away from your machine. Just, they can walk during the kneading process, especially depends on the surface of your counter. Okay. So that's basically what you are looking for. So probably about an inch in size. I'm just going to roll that. You can make them smaller or larger if you wish. And then just roll them. Just give them a light dusting in your coconut. There we go. These are gorgeous. And these will set so beautifully. There are some really lovely recipes that for bliss balls as well. So if you want to look up, actually if you search balls, actually, and it'll bring back so many different recipes for you. Okay, I'll pop that aside and keep that going. Come back. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab my Thermomat. We don't need the Thermomat for this recipe, but I love them. I love my Thermomats. So, here we go, going to roll this out. Now, that was one thing. If anybody, I've got a couple of people on today that have invited friends along. So if anybody is interested in inviting anyone along to join us on Saturday afternoons, I run these cook-alongs oh, look at that. Or nearly every Saturday, but you see there, look at my dough. Okay, so what we're going to do, it does say if you need, you can add an extra, give it an extra minute, but you don't need to do that. Right. So what we do, tip it out. At the bottom of your bowl, there's a little little wheel. If you give that a little turn, just give it a little turn backwards and forwards, and you'll feel it free up. And what that does, just lets your dough pop straight out. Okay, and you see my bowl? Isn't that awesome? Okay. So it just frees your dough up. Now, if this had yeast in it, what the Thermomat does is it holds the heat. So it would actually heat it, and it would keep the heat actually in our dough. But for this particular recipe, we're just going to set it aside and let it rest. Okay. Pop that over there. That's our dough. All right, I'll give my bowl a quick rinse, but isn't that awesome? Like, it's so clean. I'll give it a quick rinse. Again, now with dough, I actually do put a little bit of detergent in it, just because dough is quite sticky. Again, and I'm going to jump out of this. So it says cover bowl, rest for 15 minutes. Okay, so I'm just going to push the home button. It's going to allow you to jump out of the recipe at any time and see how it's got a little bookmark. Can you see that? Hopefully you can see that little green mark there. So that bookmark allows you to jump back into the recipe at any time. So, there you go. So just do 5 seconds. If it's really sticky up in your bowl, you can do it for however long you like. But it just cleans your bowl, gives it a quick helps you get everything out. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so then once you're done, you push your little bookmark and actually takes you straight back in to the, I see Natasha's husband there. always so nice when people, I love it when people come and see what's happening. What's going on? And they don't realise that they're on camera. Say hello to Natasha's partner. Hello. All right. And I have a cup of tea from Pauline. I know. Oh, good. All right. Normally, my lovely husband brings me a glass of wine at the end of the day, so fingers crossed on that one. Okay, so 400 pieces of white cabbage. I'm going to grab my knife and cut this up into pieces. You don't need to be terribly pedantic with the size. I'm just giving it a rough cut. Can you see that? Just a really rough cut. Tear that off. Done. Okay, 416. Okay, teaspoon of salt. Oh, insert. Okay, so what it does, okay, it asks us to put the lid on. And I'm just going to show you something. So it actually asks us to, and I'll just give this a quick rinse. It actually asks us to put the spatula in whilst it's going. I'll just explain why it does that. Okay, so I'll explain to you before it starts because it will make a noise. Okay, so by putting the spatula in, okay, it's going to actually help the chopping process within the side. So I'm not sure if you noticed, but the grooves around the bowl are actually designed to help spin the ingredients flip the ingredients onto your blades, okay? But by adding in your spatula, that helps actually mince up the ingredients inside even further. Okay, so we'll do that. It's literally just going to go for 20 seconds. I'll try not to talk. Okay, so here we go. I'll show you what it does. Actually, I'll grab a bowl here and tip it out. And you'll see, helps really evenly shred. So if you can see, really evenly shred your cabbage. So I'll tip that out. And hopefully you'll see it. So it's shredded it. Oh, it's just awesome. It's shredded it. So if you were making coleslaw, just such a, the Thermomix literally makes a coleslaw in 6 seconds. It's incredible. But imagine how long this would take to actually cut up the hand so finely and so perfectly and so evenly. Let me show you. And that's what putting the spatula in through the lid assists with that chopping. So let me show it to you. Can you see that? Can you see how close? Isn't that awesome? How well cut up that is? Yeah, so that's basically what it just gives it a helping hand to achieve that. Okay. Now, okay, so what we're going to do, so actually going to do 350 grams of pork mince. What I'm going to do, so we're on step 18, okay, so what we're going to do, I'm actually going to jump out of this recipe and I'm going to show you how to make pork mince and to use in our recipe. So let's jump out. Actually, I'll jump out of this run and I'll come back into it and I'll come back to it. So we're at step 18. I'm going to cancel this recipe, yep. And I'll come into our San Choy Bau. And it's one of the first things on the San Choy Bau. Okay, we can do our pork mince. So I'll grab it up for you. So those people who have, so this is my pork mince. Okay, so what I've done, it's half frozen, so very cold and slightly frozen, chopped into about 2 centimetre pieces. Okay, so I'm going to put in about 250 grams. So if you are at home and if you have an issue with mince and you just because you don't know what goes into it, and seriously, we do not know what goes into mince, it could be anything. This is such a great way of making your own. Okay, here we go. So what we're going to do, it's actually going to use the turbo function. 2 seconds on your turbo, which is awesome. So TM5 has the turbo down the bottom. Okay, the TM6 is just a function on the front there. Okay. But then you have a little look at it and work out whether you think it's great. I'll grab another bowl. And you can pulse it. So the turbo is for pulsing. I'll show you. Turbo is for pulsing. It's so awesome. I love this. So now you've made mince. You know exactly what goes into it. Can you see that? Isn't that awesome? And it's just mince. Yeah, it is just pork. You know, there's no dodginess in it whatsoever. So all you need to do is just remember to freeze your meat first. Okay. I saw Kathy clipping. Yeah, it is awesome, isn't it? I agree. Okay. Yes. It's cleaning up meat. So let me put the rest in, and I'll do it another. You need to do it in a couple of batches. So I'm doing it in 250-gram batches. Okay. Come back into it. Okay. So just 2 seconds. Okay. Give it another turn. Okay. And have a little look at it. Right. Let's have a little look. That's awesome. Actually, I'm actually going to give this one. So this one may not have been quite as frozen. I'm actually going to give it one more burst. Okay. So remember, you're in charge at any time. Like, it will guide you through, but after it's finished a step, if you check it out, and if you don't love the results for whatever reason, like I've done exactly so that I'm going to do it again. There's one more little, I'm just being lazy. But if you're not happy with it, just go back and do it again. Okay. But how awesome is that? How quick is that? It's just amazing. Yeah, perfect. Okay. There's my pork. So you can do that with chicken. So like if you wanted to make chicken mince, if you wanted to do like beef mince, etc., just grab your thing. It might be a slightly, I don't know whether it'd be more expensive. I'm not sure actually. No, it probably wouldn't be. But at least you know what's in it. Especially like I know a lot of people don't like eating mince because they don't know what's in it. And honestly, it's just such a great way to do your own mincing. There we go. Isn't that awesome? Okay, so I'm just going to set that there for a second. I'm going to exit this recipe. So cancel the recipe and say yes.
Do you have to make the meat where it's frozen solid?
Yeah, no. It has to be par frozen, Debbie.
Right.
Like it's stiff, but not solid. So
Right.
if it was if it was frozen, it would probably still work. You'll just need to cut it down into probably 1 centimetre size before you try. Yeah.
Thank you.
That's all right. Okay. So I'm just going to, where are we up to? Let me go to, okay, done. So now we put 350 grams of our pork mince into here. And we're just going to pop the rest back in the fridge until we do our San Choy Bau. Perfect. Done. Okay, pop some water in. So just 30 grams of water, not too much. Watch me spill it everywhere. Oh, that's right. See, that's what I normally do. I told you I got too excited too early. Okay, some soy sauce. So just 20 grams of soy. There we are. Some rice wine. Ooh, crush. So just 10 grams of rice wine vinegar. Rice wine. It's quite a strong liquid. You don't want to go too crazy on the rice wine. Okay. Teaspoon of sugar. What do I do with my sugar? Where do I put my sugar? There. I'll pop my sugar. Yeah, I can really smell the rice wine. It is really strong. So just it's probably the one thing you want to be a little bit careful of is your soy in the rice wine. And so next, a bit of salt. Okay, a bit of ground pepper. Go. Oh, some sesame oil. This is beautiful. I love cooking with sesame oil. Every time I cook with sesame oil, again, it's a really strong, actually I might measure this one. This is actually a really strong flavored oil, but so beautiful. Now the next one I think is going to ask me for peanut oil. Actually, my son is anaphylactic to peanuts, so we're not, we avoid that one. Try not to kill him on a regular basis. Oh no, it must be the San Choy Bau, so we don't use that in the San Choy Bau. So I actually swapped that out. Okay, so it's just going to mix that up for us. Perfect. Can you hear me or not? No? You can hear me still? Yay! I thought it might block me off actually while it was going. It must be just when it does the initial. All right, so I'm just going to finish these ones off quickly while I'm just at the moment. Just roll it around. And then I'll pop these into the fridge as well. But there are some really lovely energy ball, protein ball recipes on Cookie Dough as well. There's a really lovely lemon and coconut one as well. Oh, it's so nice. Oh, the 30 seconds, quick, 30 seconds. So I'm going to make it quick. Look at that. Timed perfection. All right. Okay. I'll just wash my hands. Okay. Hooray. So there's our blissful. Oh, that one was a bit thrown together at the end, wasn't it? I don't think I can really claim it. Oh, too keen. Okay. So they're done. So I'm going to pop those into the fridge as well. Okie dokie. Done. Okay. So next, excellent. Scrape down the sides. So, oh, it looks amazing. Okay. It's done. Can you see that? If I tilt it back a bit, you see it's all mushed up in there. Excellent. So squeeze. Okay. All right. going to grab our wrappers and size in the swimming basket there. Oh, extra moisture, that's right. Then we're going to add our cabbage to the mixing bowl. There we go. Oh, it looks awesome. Okay, so this is going to be, so what we're going to do, this is going to mix it all up for us. There we go, pop our lid on. So 6 seconds, blade reverse, speed 6. I might need to grab a bigger bowl actually, I might see. No, could you grab me, pass me down a bowl while I'm still there? Big one. Thank you. Perfect timing. All right. So what we're going to do is just tip this all out. Oh yeah, yum. Oh, it smells amazing. All the flavors. And then I'm going to use this, set this aside, and going to start our San Choy Bau, and then I'm going to roll out our wontons as well and show you the smell. Okay, I'll show you a little trick as well. Can you see? Okay. Can you see around inside my bowl, I've still got a little bit of mixture around in there. What I'm going to do is just, again, I'm going to jump out, just give it a blast for about 2 seconds. Literally about 2 seconds. See what it's done? See how it blasts everything onto the side? Okay, so what that just means that it just gets everything out of your bowl, so nothing's actually left behind, all right? You want to get all that yummy goodness. Excellent. There we go. Give that a little mix around. Oh, it looks great. And it smells amazing. Love it, just the oils. Oh, yum. I can really smell the sesame oil in it. Okay. So I'm going to set that aside. Okay. And what am I going to do yet? I'm going to actually pop that. No, that'll be fine. I'll leave that there. I was going to say I could pop it into a thermo server, but I won't worry. I'll leave that there. Okay. Now I'm going to start the San Choy Bau. I'm just going to pop this over to the side, and I'll pop a tea towel on it. Right, let that rest. I'm going to swap my bowl over. I'm missing my lovely 18-year-old bottle washer today. She's normally hanging around. So I do have 2 bowls, but I do try, so I know not everybody does, so I do try and do most of the things just with 1 bowl, because I know not everybody has 2 bowls. They are amazing to have 2 bowls. It is amazing, I would say. See that? I just want to show you. Isn't that awesome? How clean that is? So that's just doing the high pressure clean. Like that. There. I'll grab my other bowl. So if you are cooking along at home, just wash out your other bowl, and I might ask Bella if she can wash my bowl when she's back in hearing distance. Okay. So clean and dry mixing bowl. You don't really need to do that at that stage. Basically, we will come back to that one. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to rinse, clean my knife. Okay, I need it. Okay. So there's our dough. Hooray! So with the normal, if you don't have a thermomat, thermomats are incredible. And that's what I was saying before is, actually I've got sidetracked. If you know of anyone who would like to join us today, just let me know. You are so welcome to invite anyone to join us. And if you have a couple of friends joining us, then you will receive host rewards as well. So it's just an awesome way of having host rewards. If you have someone, just one friend, if you have one friend who's actually interested in purchasing a Thermomix but just wants to have a look at it beforehand, and absolutely welcome to invite them along as well. So you will qualify for host rewards. So just one person who is interested in purchasing, or two friends that are interested in just seeing it in action. So yeah, so keep that in mind. So one of the Thermomats, one of the ones that you get heavily reduced as well. Righty-o, so we're going to turn out our dough onto the surface. It actually steps you through, which I love. Basically, it says separate our dough out into 4 sections and then put them into a rope. So just with when you're cutting on the Thermomat, use your spatula. Don't ever use a sharp knife on it. Okay. And then take your 4 pieces, and we're actually going to roll them into a rope, like just a 2 centimeter rope, 2 centimeter diameter rope, I should say, not length. There we go. And what we'll do is, once we've done that, actually use your spatula again to cut them into little sections. Okay, so you want to have about, so you want it to be about 2 centimeters in diameter, each of your ropes. There we go. And you want to be able to then cut it into probably about 8 each one. There we go. So I'll just do one at a time. I'll set that aside so you can see. Sorry, it's slipping around. I've got the mat underneath. Remove that. Isn't that awesome? Okay. So about 2 centimeters in there. It actually will guide you through. Yeah, cut it into 8 small pieces. So there we go. Like that. Set those aside. Now I'm just using a little pastry roller, so a little tiny pastry roller. The reason for that, it just makes it a little bit easier to roll out. Now, if anybody's ever seen the incredible women, Chinese women and Vietnamese women rolling out they're amazing, and they roll and they twist and they flip it as they go. But it's incredible. Okay, so what you want to do is have your dumpling, if you're at home, roll out your dumpling so it's about 1 millimeter thick, okay, and set that aside. So just pop that over there, like that. I'm gonna roll out the ones. Yeah, so they turn it, and I'm sure they would be rolling their eyes at me at the moment, but this is how I do it. Okay, so I'm not going to bore you to tears. I'm just going to do a few of them. Now these will actually freeze as well. So once you make them, like if you don't have a big family, or you're not feeding huge numbers, or you have children that are fussy and don't particularly want to eat, so I think you can actually freeze these really successfully as well. So we'll make them up, and I'll show you how to actually roll them. I'll show you how to actually fold them. And then once they're folded, you can just pop them into the freezer and they will actually freeze beautifully. And they will steam just like as if you just made them fresh. Just add on a couple of extra minutes. So if they're frozen, you can actually cook them straight from frozen. So they're an awesome, awesome little treat to have, or something to have in the fridge or freezer, I should say, for those nights that you're not particularly wanting to do anything. You've got them sitting in the freezer, and you can make, there's a really lovely wonton soup that you could make these with as well. Rightio. So I'm just going to do one batch, and my wontons, my gosh, they'll just be rolling, wouldn't they? Would be rolling their eyes. But they still taste amazing. They still taste amazing. Okay. And you don't need to use the little pastry roller. It just makes it a little bit easier to roll. That's all. Oh, that one's a bit. Let me just roll that one again. It just makes it. Having the smaller roller just makes it a little bit easier to manage when you're actually rolling out the dough. Okay.
Where would you get a small roller like that?
Do you know where I got mine from? I went to 3 different kitchen shops thinking surely they would have them. Do you know that I got from Big W in the end?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're really not expensive. They're actually fondant rollers is how they are.
Oh, yeah.
And you can actually with them, they come with little measuring rubbers on the end, so you can measure out your fondant perfectly. Okay. There we go. Now grab our mince. And I'll just show you. One, and we'll start our San Choy Bau. Okay, so all we do with them is just put a little bit of teaspoon in the center and fold them up. Fold up our wrappers. Actually, just wet the side. I need a bowl of water. Hang on 2 seconds. With that, a bowl of water, and all you do, you actually wet the outside of the pastry. If you can see, I'm doing that. So what happens when you fold it over, it will stick. And you have to make sure, and I'll show you in greater detail in a second. Make sure it's lovely and flat, and there's no air pockets. Okay, I'll do it in better detail in a second. My first one, and that's my wonton. Let me put this up so you can see it a little bit closer. That's my first. It's a very basic wonton. So you just want to flatten around the outside. Okay, and I'm going to put that into my thermoserver. Sorry, my varoma. All right, but I'm going to show you really fancy ones in a second. So let me put this aside. I'll move my wrappers over as well. And I'll put a wet tea towel over the top of the pastry so that it doesn't dry out. Actually, I might be able to leave just the Thermomix. Leave that. I'm going to put a wet tea towel just over the top. So just a damp tea towel. Just going to pop that over the top so it doesn't dry out the pastry. There we go. Perfect. Rightio. So, and we will come back and I will show you in much greater detail how to do that. We'll just, and then it'll step you through, it'll pinch it. That's fantastic. Pop the dumplings. It says dumplings. Pop them onto a tray. Put your varoma. You literally just need 500 mils of water, 20 minutes at varoma temperature, speed 1, and they're done. Okay. But if you wanted to freeze them, and I'll show you in a second once they're all done. If you wanted to freeze them, I'll show you You can definitely do that. You can, before you cook them, you can freeze them. Okay, well, let's do our San Choy Bau, get that going, and then I'll show you more of the folding technique. So and I might, can you see it okay, or do you want me to bring it a bit closer? Anybody say it's all okay? Okay, great. Okay. So let's start our San Choy Bau. It is such a delicious recipe. I love this recipe. The kids love this recipe. That's how good it is. All right, so I'm just going to grab my fork. Okay. Grab our minced pork. So this is honestly such a family favourite. So just 250 grams. Now, there we go. All right. Now, if you were doing more, so I think the recipe asks for 500 grams. I think it does. I'm not sure. You can do it in 2 batches. But, oh, sorry, put my lid on. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. All right. There we go. Oh, it's done. Let's get that through. It's asking to mince it. You've already done all that. Okay. Transfer. Oh, look. I've jumped ahead of myself. We've already done all our mincing, so let me just tip that out into my thermo servers. Who loves their thermo servers? Has everybody got thermo servers? Yeah, no, shaking heads, no. They are amazing. I know some people go, oh yeah. I use my thermo servers all the time. They're amazing. They'll actually keep food. So my mince was cold and it will stay cold in there for me. So they actually keep food hot and cold for up to 2 hours. You do need to season the metal before you use them though, okay? So my mince is only going to stay in there for only just for a short time, so that's fine. But if you were going to go to a party and you wanted to take some hot food, you just season it pour it in boiling water, let it sit for about a minute so it heats up the metal, tip that out and put your food in, it'll keep it hot. For the cold, the same thing, pop some ice into it, let it just cool down the metal, and it will keep your cold things cold as well. They're amazing. I use mine all the time. They are also a host reward as well. All right. So putting in sesame oil. So 10 grams of sesame oil. Beautiful. Okay, this is the peanut oil. So this is the one that I swap out. And I'm just going to be using canola. You can use grapeseed oil as well. You can use rice bran oil as well. Okay. Okay, now I put the pork in. Oh my gosh. Absolutely could have left the pork in there. That's okay. I thought I was like, I'm sure I left that in there before. Okay, that's fine. All right, so what I'm just going to do, when you put your mince in, just to give it a helping hand, so what it's going to do is do high heat cooking. When you pop the mince in, just make sure that it's actually around the base of the bowl, okay? Because it's going to do high heat cooking and you just want to give it a helping hand. So it's going to use a splash guard. For those with the TM5, you can actually use your steamer basket. I'll show you the splash guard. Okay. Those with your TM5, you can just put your steamer basket on top, okay? So what it does is it lets the steam, but it's just a safety mechanism. Those with your TM6, this is your splash guard, so you're going to use that. And it literally just sits on top like that. And when you say done, it's going to go 7 minutes and it's going to do high heat cooking. And off it goes. So you will see it in a second. So for those who haven't seen the high heat cooking in the TM6, you'll see it in a second. I'll stand behind it so you can actually see the steam coming up, but it actually fries your food, which is awesome. That is one of the biggest things I noted, the difference between the TM5 and the TM6 personally, was the extra depth of flavor that I got from my dishes because of the frying and the caramelization that I got from it. So You'll see it in a sec start to steam. Okay. Rightio, on to our dumplings. Now let me just see, I've got some space. I'm just going to move this over a little bit. Make some space so you can see. All right. So can you hear it? I don't know if you can hear it, but it's sizzling. I'm not sure whether it'll pick it up or not. You can hear that. But it's sizzling, and then every so often it does a little turn. So as if you're like stirring it in a fry pan. It's pretty awesome. Those Germans are amazing. They've thought of everything. So pop that over there. And I'm going to grab out my square wontons as well. Okay. Okay, so just put a teaspoon into our little wonton wrapper. Okay. Now the first one I'm going to show you, it's super easy. It's very similar to what I did before. Hopefully you can see that. Actually, I might grab a darker background so you can see it a bit better. There we go. Does that make it a bit easier so you can see it a bit better? Yeah? Awesome. So when I fold it, I'm actually literally just going to fold it over. Imagine you had a rectangle, or in this case it's the oval. I'm literally going to just fold it over. Going to, sorry, dampen the edges so that they stick. So you do this with all your wontons. And then just fold it over. And the most important thing, so when you push it down, it'll stick together. The most important thing is just to remember to let the air out. So give it a good squish. Perfect. And you want to make sure that the air is out of your wonton. Okay. Because you don't want it to, because the air is what causes the wonton to rupture. And you don't want to have ruptured wonton. Okay, so I'm just going to show you it again. This is a nicer one. Okay. Just fold, literally just fold it over on both sides and press it shut. Press it shut. Can you see the steam coming up there? Can you see that steam? Yay.
Hello.
Oh, Debbie, been attacked by puppies. That's so cute. Okay, so I'll show you these pressed in ones. All right. So it literally just pressing around the outside. So I'm not sure if you can see. Can you see that? So that's really simple wonton. It literally is just folding it over and pressing it around the outside. So that one's super easy. Pop that down there. So we're going to pop that into my oiled varoma. And this one, again, just pressing around the outside. So just making sure that there's no air in the center. Okay. So that's the super easy one. Okay. What I'm going to do, I'm going to grab, let me show you one of the rectangle ones. Pull that over there. Yeah. Just move that over there. Put my wet tea towel on there. I'll come back and do those. And I'll show you with the rectangle. Can you see that? Can you see? Look at that steam. Isn't that awesome? Rightio. I might just grab another mat. Okay. So these are little wonton ones as well. You might be able to see that a bit better. Okay. So with the rectangle ones, if you've got the rectangle ones at home,
It's gone down. I'm just watching this, but I can help you.
Hi, Julian, would you mind just muting yourself, lovely? Okay. All right. So this is just a rectangle one. Literally, you just do it on the so just like the rectangle, but just turn it into a triangle instead. Okay. So this is, we're starting to build up our wonton. So that's our rectangle. Okay. So our triangle. I'm married to a maths head of department. He'd be mortified if I heard calling that a rectangle.
Okay.
Not too bad, that coffee.
No, it's not bad.
Oh, hey, could I ask everyone just to check their muting for me, please? Unless they want to ask a question, I'd really, really love to hear if you have a question. There's a little microphone down the bottom. If you can just make sure that that's on red, that would be lovely. Okay, so next little one is actually a triangle with a little bit of a twist. Okay, so we're going to, again, form your triangle. You don't want to put too much into the center. Okay, so this is where there's so much fun to do with the family. Okay, then what I want you to do is actually fold over, and I'll show you a little tip. So I'm going to wet the little ends. I'll bring it closer so you can see. So I've got a triangle, okay? Then I'm going to fold in the edges like that and just dampen one corner, and you fold it in and you make yourself a little parcel. Can you see that? So they don't, like, they're gorgeous, but they're not, you know, they look so cute. They look so cute. Okay, I'll do that. I'll try that again. So pop that like that. All right, what's my name? Scrape down the sides. All right, I'll come back to doing my wonton in a second. I'll show you another one in a minute. All right. So when you're taking your lid off your Thermomix, always remember to tilt the handle towards, tilt it down so the steam escapes from the back, because you don't want to be burning yourself. All right. Oh, look at that. Isn't that awesome? So well cooked. And I'm going to scrape. I'll see if I can see. Oh, yeah, lovely. Let me give you another shot. Oh, can you see that caramelization? Yeah, yum. So that's with the TM6, basically the high heat. So you want to give that a good scrape, because you want to bring all that beautiful caramelization into the dish. Beautiful. Yum, all that flavor. Okay. It's all beautiful. Okay. So next, and then done. Okay, pop that into a thermoserver, right? So if I was wanting to keep this hot for a while, just put boiling water into your thermoserver, okay? Pop in your food, and it will actually take it'll keep the heat, it'll keep your food beautiful and hot. Okay, I'm just going to scrape out base and get all that beautiful caramelization. Oh, yum. Okay. Done. Quickly put the lid on and go. Can you see? It's browned. Can you see that? How it browns it as well? So it's actually browned the pork. Okay. Pop the lid on my thermoserver. All right. I will come back to my grab it on I'll just get another. I'll put a cover on them so they don't dry out. So we don't want our wrappers to dry out. Let me just make this one quickly before I go on. So I just wet the secret really with your wontons is just to put the little water around the outside, press down out any air. Okay, and I'll make another envelope one, and then just fold it into the center. There we go. They're cute. So I'll pop that over there as well.
Is some burning?
Yes, it's all good.
Okay.
Okay, so there we go. So pop in 3 garlic cloves. So we're going to continue on with our San Choy Bau. Let me just see. Okay, and then ginger. I'm just going to roll this up while we do that. There we go. Okay, so just a 5-centimetre piece of ginger. If it's super fresh ginger, like that you have grabbed from the garden, there's actually no need to peel it if you don't, like if it's super fresh. Otherwise, just pop in about 5-centimetre piece. Give it a peel if it's a little bit older. Pop that in. I love the ginger. Okay, some chili flakes. Again, if you've got a little one at home, you might want to reduce this amount. Okay, but it's half. I'm just going to put in half. That's gorgeous. Okay, spring onions. So these are my spring onions. There we go. I'll just trim them a little bit. Just want to cut it into about 2 to 3 centimetre pieces. There we go. I'm going to keep there we go. I'm going to keep my green pieces for garnishing as well, so we don't waste those. I'll pop those over there. There we go. Pop the lid on. It's just going to chop it for us for 3 seconds. I love when it's hot. Can you see? When it's hot, I'm going to turn that around so you can see. So when the machine's hot, these side here will actually glow red once it goes over 60 degrees. And when you're actually bringing something up to speed, it actually, I'm just going to check it. Yeah, actually, I'll give it another. I'm just going to give it, go back and give it another little blast. It'll actually wait. Done. Before it actually, it's like a safety feature. So it'll actually slowly come up to speed and then it will count down, which is awesome. Okay. So next, okay, we're gonna pop in our shiitake. Now, if you don't have shiitake, don't worry. You can use normal mushrooms. There is not, you do not need to go. I do have shiitake, so these are the shiitake mushrooms. They're beautiful and they are so full of flavour. But if you don't have shiitake, don't worry. Just use whatever mushrooms that you can. Or if you don't like mushrooms, you don't need to pop them in either. So don't be too concerned. But if you prefer, you can use your brown onions. You can use button mushrooms, not brown onions, brown mushrooms, button mushrooms. Okay. Don't just use, and that's actually what I've loved during COVID, has just been helping people realise that they can create beautiful dishes using what they've got at home. Because I know, especially in Victoria, and my heart goes out to you guys as well, still being in that situation. But, you know, things are limited and you can substitute. And that's what I've loved about it. You can still create beautiful dishes and just substitute. But you don't have to be guided. You don't have to be guided by what's in there. Okay. All right, peanut oil. So again, I'm just going to use my 10 grams. Sesame. So a really good substitute for peanut oil is sesame oil, believe it or not, but I'm not going to double up on my sesame oil. Okay. So next, pop our lid on. So I'll show you. So that's what it looks like. Okay. Next, okay, it's going to go for 2 minutes. Actually, I'm just going to give it a quick scrape around the sides and give it a little mix, just to give it a helping hand. Give it a little mix around, so it's all mixed in. Oh, the smell! It smells amazing. Okay. All right. Done. 2 minutes. Whilst that goes, let me move back to here. I'm going to show you another way to roll your wontons. Okay, I love this one. This is probably my favorite way, actually. Okay, again, actually, I'll just give it a little plus. This is probably my favorite, and it's really impressive, but it's, you know, actually not. There's nothing too difficult about it. Okay, so I'm just going to wipe down the sides. Hopefully, you can see that all okay. And I'm going to get some of my mince, just about a teaspoon. Don't need to go too crazy. Okay. Fold that over. Okay. Oh no, actually I did the wrong one. Oh goodness. I'll just do another envelope. I'll show you. So I'm on the remote robot. Let me just do the one. So you want it to be square. There we go. Pop our teaspoon in. Just fold it over. Okay, so you fold it over so it's in a little rectangle, and then squash out all the air. Okay. Now, what I want you to do is you just dampen one side, okay? So I'll bring it up to the camera so you can see. So it's a little bit closer. All right, so one side's dampened, and then I'm actually just going to give it a twist. See if I can, I'll come in a bit closer. Okay, so this is my wonton. I'm going to give it a bit closer. What I'm going to do, I'm actually going to bring one side around, hopefully you can see it, and stick it over the top of the other side. Can you see that? So now you've got a little castle. Can you see that? That's not cool. I'm going to do it again slowly. So it looks really impressive. People go, oh my gosh, look at those wontons. Okay, add in our reserve mince. Oh, wow. Oh, it just smells so good. I think we're going to be eating dinner early tonight. Okay, over there. Going to give that a little helping hand. Just give it a little mix around, popping in our mince. There we go. So it's done. Going to pop our splash guard on. Let me just make sure. Okay, next, let me turn that around a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I've just put the splash guard, I've put the mince in with the splash guard, and it's going to do 3 minutes on high heat cooking again, just the whole lot. All right, come back, I'll show you my little castle. This is my favorite one again. So I think I've got 2 there. Is that 2 in that one? Oh yes, there you go. This is why you need the family involved, because otherwise you will, if you're having anything like me and you're having a glass of wine whilst you're cooking, you will be drunk by the time you finish them. Okay, so you need many hands to help with this one, or dinner may not make it to the table. But it's lovely. It's so much fun. You get all the kids involved, you get the whole family involved, get partners involved. Okay, so I'll show you again. So I'll come back up a bit closer. All right, so it's just like this. Okay, and I'm going to wet one side. Okay, then all you do is you take the underside of this side and you spin it round so it sticks on the top of that one. So you kind of spin it round so it sticks onto the top of that side. Does that make sense? Do you want me to do that again? I'll do that again. It's a little bit confusing to show, but hopefully you'll get it this one. So here's my square again. All right, pop that in there. Okay, so folding it over, squishing out any air. We do not want our wontons disintegrating in the steam. Okay, I'll bring it up and show you again. So you've got your wonton on one side. Okay, I'm going to wet one side. Okay, then you're going to take the underside of the other side and spin that around to stick onto the top of the other side, of the wet side. So the dry side of the under one sticks to the top. Okay, did everyone understand that? Yes? Yes? Okay, if you need me to do it again, I'm very happy to. Okay, now another one I'll show you quickly before that finishes. Okay, this is a really simple one as well, and it's very cute. Come on, quick. Oh look, there's so many different ways of making them, but these are probably my favorite ones. So this one, again, just wet the outside. Okay, pop a little bit of mince in the center, like that. Okay, again, folding it over like a rectangle, or as a rectangle. Oops, there we go. Okay, so this one is just like the original one where it's just the rectangle, but then what I want you to do is actually pinch it in the center and kind of gather up the side. And this, you may have seen this as more of a traditional one where it's got the little gatherings on the side. I'll show you. I'll do it. There we go. You may have seen this more as a traditional one. Can you see that? Hang on, I'll bring it around. So there, can you see that? So what you do is you take your rectangle and literally just gather the top, and so it sits like that. And so that's a gorgeous little parcel one as well. Let me show you. Okay. All right, lifting that off. Oh, wow, that's not amazing. I'll show you. Can you see that? Oh, so beautiful. The smell. All right, I'm just going to give that a stir and just loosen that caramelization. Oh, gorgeous. I'm going to pop in now. So this is my caster sugar. Do you remember right back at the beginning when I was prepping? I'm not sure if everybody was online at that point, but I was quickly prepping with the raw sugar to make caster sugar. So this is where I'm using my caster sugar. Like if you haven't got caster sugar, just use raw sugar or white sugar. That's fine. Okay, so I'm just going to pop in 15 grams. There we go. And so next, okay, soy sauce. And at 20 grams of soy sauce. There we are. And so next, okay, 35 grams of oyster sauce. I've had my oyster sauce out. I keep my oyster sauce in the fridge, but it sets really firm. So before you, if you are going to make this back, just bring your oyster sauce out because you see how slow it still is. But it's getting there. There we go. Come on. It's so thick. It's gorgeous. There we go. Perfect. There we are. And say next. Okay, rice wine. There we go. Use our rice. So 15 grams of rice wine vinegar. Again, it's very strong.
Do you just get that rice wine vinegar?
Say
Do you
next.
get the rice, so do you get the rice wine vinegar in like Woolies and that?
Yes, yeah, and in the Asian section.
Okay,
yes.
thank you.
This is the one I'm using, the bento. But there are a few different varieties available as well. But yes, and it can stay in your cupboard as well. It's not one of the ones that have to go into the fridge, which is awesome. I'm going to pop our lid on. Okay, it's going to go for 1.5 minutes at 100 degrees, just stirring. So heating and just stirring it round all in there. Right, come back and show you. I think this one the last one I showed you, is officially called the ravioli version or something. So it's very popular. So, okay, I'll show it to you again. So just pop about, you don't want to overload your wonton. So maybe a teaspoon, I've probably got a little bit too much in there. Just a teaspoon of the mince. Okay, so fold it over as a rectangle. Beautiful. Okay, and I'll come and show you. So just fold, it's just literally folded like a little rectangle, okay? And all I'm going to do is just, starting in the center, just gather up the sides. Can you see that? So you're just gathering in, pinching in the sides to form a little parcel. Oh, so it's like just a little wobbly parcel. So then when you're finished, it'll look like that. So it just looks like a little parcel. Okay, so that's another option for you as well. Okay. All right. Oh my goodness. 2 seconds. Scrape down the sides. Oh. Oh, it smells amazing. Okay. I'll just give this a little stir around. Okay. Transfer into thermo serving bowl or large bowl and serve. Oh my goodness, we're done. But okay, we're not done. Hang on, I'm going to show you. Let me tip this out. Well, we're super nearly done. An hour and a half today, guys. All right. I haven't even had my wine. Oh my goodness. What's going on? Okay. So I'm just going to tip out so if you wanted to, like if you had your thermoserver, you could pop your mince into the thermoserver and have it ready for when, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep it aside for when I'm ready to cook. I'm going to actually reheat it. Probably I'll reheat it because we're not going to eat for just a few hours. But then there's our mince. It looks amazing. Okay, I'll get a bowl. And I'll show you how to serve it.
How do you reheat something like that in the Thermomix?
Yes, actually, have you got a TM6 or TM5?
TM5.
TM5, okay. With the TM6, you can use your kettle mode. Probably, do you know what I would probably recommend with the TM5? No, it should be fine. What I would do is put it on to set your, so I'll say finish. What I would do is set it to about 5 minutes. It won't take very long, probably 5 minutes at about 85 degrees, I would suggest. Depending, if you pop this into the fridge and let it keep, let it, just watch your time basically. You'll have to set a time. So perhaps set it for 20 minutes. Set your reheating to about 85 degrees, okay? Then with your blade reverse, just set it to about speed 1. And it's just going to gently stir and heat through your food. With your TM6, you've actually got kettle mode that'll do the similar function for you as well. I'd actually probably do that on both. I'd probably do that on both. You can set it and just watch the timer. So about 85, 90 degrees is what you want it to be at.
Thank you.
Okay. So I'll just pop that over there and I'll grab beautiful lettuce. So what you want to do is you want to grab an iceberg lettuce and, oh look, where's my tea? Has he disappeared, Pauline? What a good man. Okay, so we're going to grab a lettuce leaf, if I can grab one that's beautiful intact. There we are. So how you want to serve it is you grab your lettuce leaf, then grab some bean shoots. Obviously you don't need to have the bean shoots if you don't wish. Okay, actually, I'll just move my Thermomat out from underneath so I can chop. Okay, I would grab a little spoon, pop a little portion of your mince into the center. Okay, gorgeous. If you had bean shoots, then use those as well. What do I do with my knife? There it is. I'm going to chop up some of my shallots as well and just use that as the garnish. Pop a bit of the garnish over the top on each one. Put some bean shoots on there. Okay, and if you've got someone who loves a little bit of spice as well, just chop up a little bit of chili and sprinkle that on there as well. Give them a little bit of a extra zhuzh. Okay. There we go. So that, and so then they can grab that, all right? Yum. Okay, so they can then wrap that up like a little parcel. And that's how they would serve it, okay? So they can have that, and that's ready to go. So you can serve that to all your guests. So it's like a little parcel. Then with your wontons as well, you have your wontons steamed. If you want to, you could make a beautiful broth to go with your wontons, like a beautiful wonton soup. There's actually a wonton soup recipe in there as well, if you want to make that. And that's our cook. And then use our balls. What are our beautiful balls? I'll show you. Grab the balls out. Here we are. Come round and pop them onto a plate. Unless you could serve this up afterwards. Yay! There we go. And we're done. Hooray! So I'm going to still go and make my mince and make all my wontons. I will take a photo of the end result and show you. But there's our beautiful San Choy Bau that you can serve up, and I will pop those over there and take photos of all that. But we're done. Hooray! So thank you guys for joining me. If you feel free, thank you.
Thank you.
Mute yourselves. If you've got any questions, or just unmute and let me know if you have anything, any feedback or anything. I'd be very happy to chat. Otherwise, have a beautiful Saturday afternoon, and I'll see you next time. It'd be lovely.
Enjoy your wine.
Thank you guys. See you.
Have you, I hope you don't mind, but I gave your name to a friend of mine down there. She lives at Rabina and she's got a TM5, but she lost her mojo.
Oh.
And she's been asking for a new consultant because she hasn't had one since they moved. Yeah. And she said, I've asked like 6 or 7 times, Deb. And I said, oh, look, I know a lady that lives down that way. Yeah. And she's very nice. So I gave her your name.
I'd be delighted to help. Absolutely.
She's a lovely lady.
Can you message me? Oh, and look, my wine's arrived.
Oh, mine's in the fridge.
Thank you, Danny. No, honestly, I'd be delighted, absolutely delighted. And if she would love to join us on the cook along and hopefully give her a little bit more inspiration, that would be really appreciated. Hooray!
Yeah, she needs inspiration. She's a lovely lady.
As well, I'm glad.
So, yeah.
So yeah, Pauline, yeah, yum. All right, thank you. Oh, and Natasha's asked, let's have a look. To freeze the wonton wrappers, do you need to put baking paper in between each one? No, they should be fine. I think when you, no, they should be fine. I would actually dust them. I would actually flour them before I froze them. So dust each one before you give them a light dusting, and then they should be fine to freeze as well. But with your wontons, I would actually more likely, yeah, if you just wanted to freeze your wrappers, just put a bit of dusting of powder in between, of flour in between. But if you want to freeze your wontons, you can absolutely freeze them at this point in time. When your wontons are still made without being cooked, you can absolutely freeze them like this. And then when it comes to cooking them, just add on a couple of extra minutes really. So it'd be 20 minutes on your varoma normally. I'd probably do 22, 23 minutes and they will steam beautifully straight from the freezer as well. So, but thank you guys. Thank you for joining me. Yeah, and cheers.
Cheers. See you next time.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Bye.
Yeah. Cheers to the cup of tea. See you guys. Bye.